Is that better? I've done the mic thing again, haven't I? Rolls eyes. Hey, Randerson Moodley's with me. What time is it with you?
Here's what I found.
Nice one. Okay, so today, let me just go back to the beginning. Today we are going to be looking at fossil fuels because we have done renewable energies already. And one of the things I think is really important to remember is that in several years' time, a set number of years, and we would all like to think it was sooner rather than later, fossil fuels will not be a thing. And the students that we're working with now, I hope, will not know a world of coal and oil. They will only know a world of renewable energies. In fact, give it 100 years' time and people will look back and go, we actually pulled fossil fuels out the ground and burned them. And so we have to keep in mind that there's a transition we're in. And so teaching that transition and modelling that transition and the benefits of the way forward is really, really important for us. And so let's start with a new world. We'll just go brand new. First things I want to do is explore what is fossil fuel. In this case, we're going to look at coal. But let's call this fossil fuel. Creative mode. Peaceful. Infinite. Show coordinates for good practice, always day, and perfect weather. This should be a mantra but for you guys by now. And then, by the way, we have a Hulk on the stream today. We have a Hulk. My good friend Renee Ranison Moodley is with us, all the way from Dubai. And he's the Incredible Hulk to my Spider-Man. So what we're going to do is we found a village. We actually spawned in a village. So let's see if we can give these people the benefit of coal power. Because you know what? For as much as it was not great for the planet, it was a driving force for our economies. Oh, look at that. I'm not entirely sure I would have built my house underneath that pile of ice there, my friend. But if you think that's a good idea, then that's up to you. I like this little village. I like all little villages. I get carried away. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to explore what coal is. So first things first, if I just type in and press E and type in coal, you can see that there's different types. So there is a block of coal found in the construction tab. There is coal ore, which is the stuff that we find in the ground and we need to mine. There's coal, which is what we get from coal ore. And then there's charcoal, which is what we get from burning wood. So let's just see what all of these look like. We're going to pull all of them down and then we'll make them and show you how they're made. So let's just make this little beach our this experimental area there. Oh, and there's a cave. We might even be able to, oh no, it's not a deep one. Let's go see if I might be able to find it. So a block of coal just looks like this. Solid block of coal. A block of ore is basically stone but with coal in it. We're not allowed to do anything with this, but if I drop it, it looks like this, and charcoal looks like that. Let's find out what these two do. So in order to find out what they do, I'm going to need a furnace. And we'll just take a standard furnace. You do also get a blast furnace, but we'll take a furnace. And in order to create charcoal, which is oh, there's coal, look, there's some coal down in the ground. Coal's quite easy to find. It's one of the easier ones. I am just going to get myself, now let's imagine we were in survival mode, so game mode 0. And what we're going to do is we're going to go and get ourselves some, and this is the journey to get coal. So the first thing any student needs to do in a survival environment is get some materials like wood and dirt and things like that for building. We're going to get ourselves some wood. Just going to keep chopping this down. There we go, that'll be enough. And then what we're going to do is, we're going to do, well, first things first, I want to go and make I'm going to have to make, I didn't get that right, there, planks. Just dump them in and get some planks. And then with those planks, we're going to put one in each of these blocks and we're going to create a crafting table. And it's the crafting table, which we'll set up camp here, that is going to allow us to build the next set of tools. But for the moment, let's burn the rest of this wood and see what that looks like. So we're just going to, let's put one in there and one in there, and then the rest in there. And you'll see that we're using a piece of wool to burn, and then we're burning the other wool. And we'll see what we get by burning wood. There we go, we get some charcoal. So we can create charcoal just by burning wood. We've still got a little bit of energy left in the furnace. These are the dying embers, if you like, and pop. So all of our wood is gone because we used one piece to set the furnace alight, and then we burned the others. So let's just go get more wood. And actually, to make wood quicker, to be able to do that, whoops, I need to go and get some first. I'm going to get myself an axe, or certainly a pickaxe. But there we go, I'm going to just get this here. I don't do survival mode generally very often. My kids do, you know, in my classrooms and stuff, because I'll basically have them being Victorians or Vikings or space explorers or something like that. But I don't. So once we've collected enough wood, we're going to get another, oh well, we can get 7 before that tree becomes too high and just floats. What we're now going to do is go back down to here, and I'm just going to make some sticks. I've done it again. I need to put that in there and get some planks. And I'm just going to get lots of planks actually. Then I'm putting up 2 down there. You'll see now that I've got a 3x3 grid, and I can get some sticks. And then with sticks, I can get, this is the pattern for an axe, which will help me chop down better trees. And I'll also get, oops, God, I'm so bad at this. That's the pattern for a pickaxe. So I'll get myself a pickaxe. Nice, right. And with a pickaxe, I can get rid of things like dirt and stone. And that gives me cobblestone. What happens if I get this piece of coal with it? Does this work? Yep. So you'll see now that I get a bit of coal, and I can pick that up. I mean, I happen to have 64 anyway, but when I take the coal, so this is like the old mining practices, right? You would just find this ore in the ground, whoops, and then you would go get it. There's some iron, incidentally. Although, interestingly, watch what happens when you try to get iron with a wooden pickaxe. Uh-oh. I just collapsed the sand. That wasn't very sensible. And that's because we know, what does sand do? Sand has gravity. So it falls constantly. Right, let's do this. So when I get iron with a wooden pickaxe, pop, nothing happens. That was a waste of iron. Basically, I didn't get anything for it. You need stone and iron pickaxes to get that. But for the moment, I'm going to go over here, and then I'm going to put my coal. There's my 2 bits of coal. Now watch what happens. I'm going to put 18 bits of wood in here. Now remember, I was able to burn 2 bits of wood with 1 piece of wood before it disappeared. But if I put 2 in here, why is that not working? Why is that not working? It is coal, right? It's the same thing. So, wow. Somebody help me out here. Is it a blast furnace? Don't tell me they've changed it so that it's a blast furnace unit. Let me just game mode 1. I'm going to try that. That's odd. Surely a blast furnace is not what we need for that. No, because we tried this the other day. We put coal in. And then, is it that I can't burn that type of wood? No, I think you can. But we'll try. We'll get ourselves. I'm in creative now. So I can go and get myself some logs. Let's just try these logs. That's not working. Anybody any suggestions? Because I am now stuck. I don't do this very often. So why am I not allowed to burn wood in the furnaces using coal? We did this the other day. I don't even know what's going on here. I'm not allowed to use coal to burn wood, apparently. That's weird. And also I don't need that. That's weird. Let's see if I do that. Nothing. What if I burn sand? Right. So I can use coal to burn sand. The issue must have been wood. That's weird. But anyway, you get the principle. What we're now going to do is use coal to burn a material. We get glass. So if we burn sand, we get glass. And we can play around with that and see what other things we can burn. I've just never seen the wood part not working. So you can use wood to burn wood, but you can't use coal to burn wood. Minecraft logic. There we are. And we just keep collecting glass and so on. So that's how you would make your windows in your property, for example. So that's how you do, that's basically how you use the coal that you get. Let me just pull some of this back out. That's coal that I got from the ground and coal that I got somewhere else, and they don't mix. Wow. Do you get the idea? Let me try the blast furnace and see if that works, because we're not allowed to burn that, but we can burn sand. No, we can't use a blast furnace for sand or wood or cobblestone or coal. What about that? Oh, we can use it for that. See how much quicker that's working. It's going to give us coal. We're going to burn coal to get coal. Right. So getting coal, the simple principle of it is digging it up out the ground. Yeah, we will get glass, but it didn't work in the blast furnace. So the blast furnace must be for something else. And I don't actually know what a blast furnace is for because it's relatively new. Ore and food in the blast furnace. Oh, so burning iron, you mean? So here's the thing. If we get iron, whoops, that's me going into the wrong thing. If we get iron ore, and we find ourselves some iron ore, we just put that in, and we end up with yeah, blast is for ores. Thanks very much. You see how quickly we're getting iron. Okay. Are we able to put food in there? What if we put a chicken in there? Let's just try it. Ah, this keyboard. I've got one behind me on that computer that you can see behind me, and it's so much smoother and quieter. I might swap out at some point. No, we're not allowed. So Chipster, thank you so much. It's purely for ore. Whereas this, we'll stick some coal in there and we'll stick some chicken in there, and we're going to cook a chicken, right? We'll end up with a whole chicken. Ta-da! Use a smoker to get food. You'll need loads of charcoal to smell anything. Yeah, but coal actually is fine. Oh, we're making another chicken. We don't need two of those. We've got ourselves a nice cooked chicken rather than the raw chicken we had. And so, anyway, the point is coal. So what we can do is we can head down now that we've got our thing. Now, I'm just going to do this in creative mode, but if you were in survival mode, you would be down here in the cave and you would be planning out a mine. I'm doing this randomly, but the kids plan out these mines. It's incredible to watch. Oh, we've got water coming in. And then what we could do is we could look for coal. But that's probably not the best way to go about doing it. Oh, there we are. There's more coal. So the idea is to go and find coal mines. There's more water pouring in there, but we find coal mines, and that coal gives us that. Now, what I'd like to do though is play around with making coal, because we have to, coal just doesn't appear in the ground. So if we're going to make this a lesson that genuinely gets kids thinking, oh right, so that's what happens. We need to be able to understand that this is what, when we chop one of these down, or so yeah, when we chop one of these down so that it ends up falling like this, if we leave that for 400 million years, it becomes compressed and heated up, and all the I mean, you can learn about the four different, the dampness, the compression, the heat and the, I can't remember the fourth, but the conditions for creating coal turn that into coal over millions and millions of years. And so we can explore how we might use code to do that. Are there other items that work for fuel? Yeah, so Barry, I think we were sort of exploring this here. We can definitely use wood, and then let's just pop that in there. We can use wood, so just strip down wood and we can do that, any sort of wood. Learning Like a Boss says, blocks of kelp, charcoal, coal, blocks of coal, logs, planks, leaves, doors, etc. Shrubs and tall grass. Yeah, anything that is burnable in the natural environment, I think. These two just differ in terms of what they're used for. So let's see if we can do a smart piece of code. Let's get a new project and go to, oh, by the way, one of the things I do mean to say is, and I'll show you today how to do this, but I would strongly advise that you export your code once you're finished, because my code builder is now only giving me these three things. And they're not what all of my code's gone. So do you remember we had the tidal cove? It's gone. It's literally gone. So I went in this morning and I'm like, where's my tidal cove? There's no way of getting that back. So now I'm going to have to remake the tidal cove, and I can go and watch my stream, which is fantastic, and it's, you know, why I'm doing these things. But really, that's not good. So today I will show you how to make that happen. So let's go in and call this coal. Here we are. And then let's just get rid of our own start and then have something like, now I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making this up as we go along, as I always do with code, but let's have a look at what our options are. We've got fill with, print with. I know I'm going to need clone from, and here's why. Because down on the beach here, we're going to have a little fallen tree. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's just do it 6. So there's our little fallen tree. And we're going to take, I'm just going to chop the end one off so I can get the coordinates. We're going to take the coordinates of our tree. So let me just get that. So we're going to do 1027, 65 minus 3. And then we're going to pop that back. And then we're going to go and get the end one here. And we're going to go 1022, 65 minus 3. Okay. And pop that back in. And this is going to be the tree that we clone at a variety of locations around the place. Now, here's what we want to do. I'm going to do on chat command fell. We're just going to call it fell because we're going to have like a felling of trees, maybe because of some dinosaur that walked through and trampled all the forest or something like that. Because we're talking long time ago. And then they were buried and so on. And so we're going to do fell, and then we're going to do clone from world location 1027 65 minus 3 to world location 1022, whoops, 1022 65 minus 3, and then we're going to do into, and we're going to do another world location, but that world location is going to be random. So let's do a random, and a random, okay? And that is going to be pick random from, and that was our 1027. So we're going to do, let me just go back to the map and just get an area that we want to do this randomly in. So we're going to do from here. So that's going to be 1048 64 minus 14. And then we're going to do to, where's our little beach? I don't want to do it too far. Yeah, we'll go out to maybe here, and then I'll just sync it. So what I'll do is I'll do 1084, and then we'll do 6444 minus, 22. Instead of 74, I'm doing 44 because I'm looking at depth. I need to know that the tree's sunk into the ground. So there's no point. I mean, I stood on that tree, but I estimated a lower than this. Okay. So somewhere, when we do fell, somewhere in here, a tree will sink into the ground and be cloned into, pick a random from 1048 to 1084. Did I get that right? I must have. Oops. And then a random of 64 to 44, so that's going to be any of the 20 blocks, and then we're going to do a random of minus 14 to 22, and that's basically first coordinate, first coordinate, first coordinate, second coordinate, second coordinate, second coordinate, and that's going to give us a random area. It's going to be like, actually, where did the tree fall? But of course, I don't just want one. I want a loop. So I want, because this dinosaur that walked through there crushed 20 trees. Okay. Oops. That's the first part. That was the incident that led to those trees being, or an earthquake. It could be an earthquake, and we could talk about making earthquakes later. We're going to have a natural disaster series of streams where we're going to look at all the individual natural disasters and see if we can create them using either redstone mechanics, environmental factors, or code. But for this one, it's just a dinosaur. So we'll call it trample. There we go. Our string is trample. Right, okay. And then we're going to go to a timer. Where are we? That's in loops. So we're going to pause for 40 seconds or 400 million years. All right? And then we're going to do the following. And this I don't really know. If true, and we're going to do blocks test for, and we're going to do, now what kind of stuff was this? We need to get this right. It was spruce logs. So let's see if this works. We're then going to do test for spruce logs. Spruce wood in this case, that's helpful. And then we need both of our original coordinates, not random, because that doesn't make sense. We need to test for, and we need our positions. And I don't need a random position, I need how do I do this? Test for, it's not going to give me a maybe it's not test for, maybe it's just in blocks. Replace with. Is there a replace? Place, on placed, test for, fill with, print, replace. Yeah, there we are. There, it's there. So it's not test for. It's just replace with coal or when block is spruce wood at, and then we need to do these locations here. So world location and world location. This is going to be a bummer to prove, by the way, because we're going to have to well, actually it's not, because I could do replace with air. So I'll have a separate thing just to prove this. So 1048 64 22. No. 14 minus 14. There we are. That's the first one. and the second one is 1084, 44, 22. So let's talk this through and see what it is that we've done. We've said on chat command trample, these dinosaurs went through, we were going to clone the tree that is lying on the beach, just to give us a model for a fallen tree, into the ground 20 times at random locations in this boxed area. So the dinosaur moved through, the trees fell down, and we have them sinking into the ground almost immediately. We're then going to wait 400 million years, and then we're going to have them replaced at any point that it finds this. We're going to make it coal. So when the kids go dig it up 40 seconds later, they're going to be like, oh, there's coal in here. And to do that, I am going to prove that that works, I'm just going to make it a big area that's been cleared out. So let's just do on player fly blocks fill with air from 5, 5, minus 5. Hey Natalie Burgess, how are you? Minus 5, minus 5, 5. And so I'm going to unlock that for the moment until I get to where I want to be, because otherwise I'll destroy everything else. But it was here, wasn't it? And then I'm just going to lock it in, and we're just going to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff around here. Let me just get rid of all of this, just so we can see if this works. I just want to use this as a model for whether or not it works. We can use sponge to get rid of all this water. In fact, if I do that, I should be able to just... Am I encroaching on my beach? Almost, but that's okay. And then we're going to go... And it was 1084, wasn't it? So 1048 to 1084, which was here. Yeah. So let's just get all of this out the way. And then what did we say it was? It was 44, right? So we're just going to... Wow. We're getting rid of a lot of land for one experiment. But that's okay. This is just our test. This is just to test that it works. If it works, then we don't have to worry about this anymore. Where's 40? 44 is down there, so that's good. This gives us a nice big open space to do this. I didn't realise I'd selected quite the space. I'm going to get rid of that water, which is a pain. So let me just disengage, just so I can clean this up. I'll disengage this, and we'll go get some sponge. Let's just get rid of water. Remember, as close to the source as you can get it, so we just, and that should kill. As close to the source as you can get, and you shouldn't have to worry about it again. Get out of it. Honestly. There should be in Education Edition, there should be a drain or drought command that just gets rid of water for you. That's not going to disappear, is it? It is now. Wow, this is tough. What's going on? Where's it coming from? Is it because it's up in the middle there? I could use a piece of code. There we go. That's helping. Doesn't really matter, but just in case. Yeah, working from the top. That I was trying to do that, but it's floating out here, you see. So I'm gonna have to just... Here we are. It's probably floating because I didn't work from the top down. credit, Chipster. You're absolutely right. Rod for my own back, huh? Anybody else ever heard that saying? My mum used to use it all the time. Probably about me. I make a rod for my own back with you. There we go. Drain away, drain away, drain away. Serenia. Right. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to get rid of this and then that's our experiment sort of set. Don't you dare. Oh, I know why. That's the sea. Hold back the tide. There we go. Right, that should kill most of that. Sweet. Bye. Okay. Then I'll re-engage my code. And we'll see if we can create coal from here. Thanks for your patience, everyone. This cannot be the most engaging way to spend your Saturday morning watching me try to get rid of a flood that I made myself. So I reckon we've created our little arena enough. What we're really looking for is just to make sure that there's no, just to make sure that when we run this piece of code, that coal, well, actually first logs and then coal. And we have to imagine that I haven't cleared all this scenery away and that this is actually just the natural environment underground. We're getting a slice, if you like, of underground. Okay, let's see if that'll work. I'm my own worst enemy. Look, I'm just like, just a bit more, just another couple of blocks. There we go, that'll do. Unbelievable. Right, let's disengage the code. Quite happy with this. Oh, you know what? I just block you in. There you go, pal. And I'll block you in. And I'll block you in. That's got to be it, right? Okay, let's run our piece of code now. Let's do it. What a mess. Okay. So we're going to press C and then we're going to run trample and let's see if this works. Remember, let's talk it through it one more time. Dinosaurs trample. 20 times we're going to see a piece of wood that is cloned on the beach appear in midair, technically underground. And then we're going to pause for 400 million years and we're going to replace all of that wood with coal. So we're just going to do trample. There we are. So there's our trees have appeared randomly. That worked. That was fantastic. And then we're going to wait 40 seconds. Sorry that I said it so long, but I do like the idea that it's it kind of reflects a scale of time, a mathematical scale of time. So 40 seconds, which is fine because it gives me time to get rid of this lot. And then 400 million years pass by. And I hope this works. This will probably be the first piece of code that's worked first time, right? On all of my live streams. I think I'm getting better. There's no spectator mode in Education Edition. Learning Like a Boss has asked if we could use spectator mode. Doesn't exist in Education Edition. Or it didn't. I mean, if that's changed, let me know. But it didn't exist. Anytime. I should have put a timer on, right? I would love spectator mode. Spectator mode, for those of you who aren't familiar, is a Java mode that allows you to become just a spectator of the world. You don't influence the world, you don't touch it, and you can go underground and see through things. And you can just go underground and be like, all right, I can see. It almost like creates a field of things. It's so that you can see all the different materials that are underground and you're in it. It's hard to describe, but I used to love it, but they haven't transferred it over. tell me that's 40 seconds and my code has not worked. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'd love to. I have written about that in the past, but it was back when the team were relatively new. Anytime. I think my code's failed. What do you think? This is one of those things where I think if I press C, I ruin the code. I think I should maybe not make it 40 seconds, and we should try a shorter one. Don't believe it. I don't believe it. We were so close to it working first time. So, let's try again then. Let's see. So let's see what we did with replace with when block is. Actually, I'm going to try something. It's been over 40 seconds. Let's try just 10 seconds, but I want to actually try something to show you where I think, if it is a bug, this is where I think the bug is. Keep an eye on these three. And what I'll do is I'll just wait 10 seconds and we'll take this bit out for the moment because we've got that in there. So when I type trample, we're going to wait 10 seconds, then the coal is going to turn the wood in those locations. So let's do that. Oops, yeah, trample. Okay. Ping, ping, ping. There. And so that's really interesting. It doesn't, and I've noticed this before, I should have actually thought of that. Code Builder doesn't, when the orientation is key and you don't get, it's done this to me before with different pieces of code, there's no orientation. So when it says spruce wood, it literally means spruce wood facing up the way. So what you would do for our little piece of code, let's try it one more time. We would go, whoops. We'd have to have our tree model hidden like that. The kids wouldn't know because this would be hidden somewhere. This would be like underground or something. So it wouldn't just be lying on the beach like that. And then if I just get rid of all of these, so let me just put my code back in for fill with, we'll get rid of these and we'll try the experiment again. That's actually played up when I've been building worlds like our storytelling world and stuff, is that you want the code to do a certain thing and it orientates only to a certain orientation. Agent has the same issue. So there we are. Right, I'm going to remember to disengage my code. Let's do that again. Okay, so pull the code in. Put that in front, trample, wait 10 seconds. We're only going to do 10 seconds now. And so, get rid of that one. This is all underground. We're going to do trample. And there we go. Now we end up with another different set of trees, which is lovely. And after 10 seconds, all of that turns to coal. Yes! It worked with a little troubleshooting, which is lovely. Okay, and that means that the kids then, you've basically created the conditions for making coal. Now, what I'm thinking is you could tie that to student activity. So what we could do is we could say, rather than dinosaurs doing it, it could be, mind you, the kids wouldn't have been around back then, but you could still tie it to their activity. And I get a boom from Barry. So what we could do is we could do something like on player, what would we execute, on arrow, run chat command, tell. It wouldn't be something that the player did, but it might be something on blocks. It could be on block broken, repeat once. No, your average tree size is 8. Repeat 8 times. Clone from, and all I'm going to do is 123. 1023 to 1022. That's it. So really what I'm saying is there are, in fact, no, 1022. And then we'll make that 20 again. Let's make that 20. It's a 20 tree. So on spruce, I keep doing that. Yeah, on spruce block broken, so every time a child breaks a spruce block, send a tree underground. So let's do that again. Let's ignore the fact that the coal's there. I'm going to go down and I am going to go to game mode. Oops, I meant game mode 0. There we go. And when we head over here and we go to, oh, that's probably the one I was after. Yeah, it is. I don't want it. Oh no, that's the one I was after. This is the one I can get rid of. So pop, oops, almost. There we are. See how they've all appeared? So every single time a child chops down a tree, and you can randomize it. I mean, let's see if we can randomize that, but let's go up to this tree and do it again. And if we do this, every time children chop down trees in your class, as if they were the dinosaurs, maybe you could model being, maybe this could be the first part, is that you get to play dinosaurs and you get to destroy a forest. And if I just chop another one down, every single time one of those is broken down, we generate coal. How nice is that? Is that still happening? I don't think that's still happening. Oh, you know why? Because it's running. Yeah, look, it's turning to coal. So we got new. So suddenly there's the other ones appearing there, and then we'll just break another one, another one, another one. So what we've got now is we've got children actively. Let's just see. That's going to turn to coal, and then another lot are going to appear. Let's do that one more time. So we're going to do this, chop, pop, and that means that eventually you'll see the brown ones turn to coal, and a new set of brown ones will appear. And so what we're doing is, hi Wolf King, welcome. No, it was working, Barry. It just, I wasn't looking in good time. So let's just build this one. I wasn't looking in the house on time. So if we knock that one, we're going to get, it's turned those to coal. We're going to wait, because remember we've got like a 10-second wait, and then what it's going to do is it's going to do the next. Oh no, I tell you what, that was because it's sideways. Look, if I knock a sideways down, it doesn't work. So that's the bug we were talking about. But if I knock a normal one down, that's this one here, a normal orientation one, pop, we end up with the wood appearing, and then I'll chop this one, and in 10 seconds time that will turn to coal, and the next lot will appear. There we go. And so that, suddenly we've got loads and loads and loads of coal, which if this was underground, the kids could then dig for and find. So I wanted to start this. So Wolf King, what we're doing is we're making, Wolf King on Mixer has asked what it is that we're doing. So what we're doing is we're using a piece of code to see what it would be like to create the conditions for coal to form over 400 million years. So what we've said is, on spruce wood broken, i.e. a dinosaur comes along and tramples down the spruce wood, 20 pieces of that spruce wood will be cloned from a location, a safe location that we have a piece of spruce wood that we want to clone, held in this location, into a random location in the world, underground. Now we've stripped the underground out so that we can see that happening. Otherwise it would be underground and we wouldn't see it happening. But that there. Then what we've done is, we've then said pause 10 seconds, i.e. the passage of time that it takes for coal to be turned into, wood to be crushed and heated up and turned into coal. And then we can replace with coal when block is spruce wood. And so what happens in that same space? And so what happens is, we end up with, if this was underground, whoops, game mode 1. Check your game mode, folks. So what we end up with is, we end up with the generation of coal that used to be wood. And that's how coal's formed. Coal is formed over hundreds of millions of years using wood. And so I think that's a really nice way of sort of starting a lesson that says to the kids that are playing, but where does it come from? It doesn't just appear from nowhere. It had to come from somewhere. And so then we explore that it actually came from a forest. And you know what? You could play it in such a way that you could say, well, where do we find coal? We don't find coal where forests never were. And so we could look at the geography, the biomes, swamps, in fact, the swamplands, that's where you find coal. And so you could have it that there would be tick areas. Do you remember we did ticking areas a few streams ago where you could have active ticking areas that meant that when a child enters the swamp and starts chopping down trees, you get twice as much coal. Instead of repeat 20 times, you get repeat 40 times. Whereas in the mountains, you probably get 0 to 5% of the coal. In the forest areas, you maybe get standard, your 20, repeat 20, and so on. And so that way the kids could then start to, in the Arctic, 0. Or is that true? I don't know. We need to look at the history and the geography of our planet and see what that looks like. And so we could actually use biomes to create coal fields that were accurate in terms of how coal was formed. Tell me what you think of that, because I'm going to move on now. Do you think that was a reasonable model for using code to help children understand how coal is formed? Is there anything we missed? Is there anything you would add? Is there anything else? Is there another feature of that code that we could build in? Because then I can move on to, well, what happens now that we're here and we want to dig that coal up and make energy with it? And to do that, I'm going to go to a different world. Great stuff. Thanks, Barry. Okay, so let's go save and exit on this world and we'll move on to... So a few years ago, I was invited to build the National Mining Museum of Scotland. So the National Mining Museum of Scotland is an old colliery, an old coal mining facility. And thank you very much for the follow, Wolfgang. Glad to have you on board. If you're interested in what we do, going forward, we teach using Minecraft in countries all over the world. And we're doing it online now because we're stuck at home. But generally we travel to do it. So this is a 1-to-1 scale replica of a real colliery in Scotland in a place called Newbattle. And ignore the purple. The conversion, I don't know why the conversion's done that, but it made that purple wool, which is strange. But we've built the entire colliery. This was scrap metal. When we visited, we photographed the place, we took videos of the place, we measured the place, we did the whole thing. And basically it's been built 1-to-1 scale. This would have been where the lorries would have gone in and collected all the... And there's nothing under here. You see up into the roofs and everything there. It literally looks like this in real life. When we went under, there's nothing there. I can't remember what they call it, the underhold or the underbank or something like that. I can't remember, but it's an amazing, amazing place. But if we head back out to the main entrance, which is here, you would head in. We've got some command blocks in here that aren't working necessarily straight away. So, and then what we would do is you would go into here, and then you would go up the stairs. There's another entrance there. You go up the stairs, and then you would go along. You would sign in here, you tag in. This little office here is where you tag in actually. Hey, that's me, Fred, I'm here for work. Oh, good. And then you head off. And once you're through, hi, Briefing Park, come on in. Welcome, welcome. We're talking about coal, fossil fuel and coal energy. And then once you're here, this is where you would get into the lift to go to work. I don't know why it's purple. I'm going to fix that over the next... In fact, I'll show you a piece of code that would allow me to fix that. You ready? Let's go to new project. and go, in fact, let's just do it in our coal one. I'm just going to show you on player fly, loops, no, blocks, replace with, let's go red brick, because they did build all of these things in brick. Brick block, when block is purple wool in, and then we're just going to copy, oh yeah, we're just going to do 5, 5, minus 5, and minus 5, 5, 5. Okay, and then when we fly around, replace with when block is that purple wool? Yeah, it is. So why is that code not working? Oh, it is, it's working for some. Oh, I know why, because I did 5, 5, 5. It's 5, 5, 5, 5 minus 5, minus 5, 5, 5. Yeah, why is that not working below me? That's interesting. You see, it's working at the top. It's just not working there. Let's go outside and see if it works outside. I'll just knock a hole in the wall. Nope, still got purple wool there. Let's try this wall. It's happening above. Have I done something wrong? I've done 5, 5. Oh yeah, I have. Look, it's a minus 5 there. Minus 5, minus 5, 5. There we are. Right. Okay, so now, there we go. As I move through this, you'll see that it's just changing. It's a real quick way of building, but it allows me to change that purple wool, which is ridiculous looking, and go down and just change it all so that it's actually what I needed it to be. There we are. We've lost the purple wool. Let's go do it at that other building as well. And I don't have to worry about it because all it's, and the other thing I can do is I can just copy and paste that and say replace with that type of wool when it is, now what was that? Was that cyan wool that we saw there? No, it was light blue wool. Light blue wool, there we are. So now when I move around, that happens, as well as the other piece of code. Let me go down and see, there we are, so we'll get rid of that. I don't know why they I converted it with MCC tool chest from Java, and that happened. And I don't know why, because it was all stone before. MCC tool chest is a bit funny like that. It's fantastic, I love it, but it can be a bit odd. Let's just get ourselves some, I'm just going to extend this just so that we got this job done, because it's a job I can do right now. Replace with brick when we have red wool, replace with brick when we have black wool, and then also, I'm just going to move this over here so we can see it, replace with and don't replace with brick, it's not, it's replace with glass. And I'm going to do that glass when we have black wool. The other one I'm going to get rid of. There we go. Okay, here we go. So that should replace glass where we find black wool. There we are. There's another bit there. There's another bit there. There we are. That's better. So that's quite a nice and easy way. Learning like a boss says, would it be possible to see us teach a lesson in one of these worlds? We could certainly try that. I mean, it would. I think it would require an audience, but we could certainly try to do that. Where are we? Yeah, bring an audience in maybe and try and do. It's a good bit of organisation, but we can do that. Okay, so I'm going to take that off now, otherwise I'm going to end up turning my cars into stuff because I'm going to fly by the cars. So this is the coal mine. Let's just go back into where we were. I'm just going to... That's underground. A couple of command blocks in there I just saw. Where was I? I'm lost now. Oh yeah, I was round here and I was in there. Look, I shouldn't really be coming out that door, but yeah. Okay, and then we can go into ignore this wee guy. Hey, wee guy. How do I get into the lift? I don't know how to get into the lift. Oh, it's downstairs. That's what it is. So we head round here, and then we head downstairs. Our rails are the wrong way. See what the conversion's done for the rails? That's okay. And then we're going to get our into the lift, and I don't think this is going to work. Oh, it did. And when we press that button, wow, the command blocks all work. That's fantastic. I've now got a mine. And if I just go back to game mode 1, and get myself a pickaxe, what I can now do is I can choose, game mode 0, I can choose which route to take, because there's different routes. So you can't go through the bedrock, that doesn't work, but you can go through the coal. And there's different coal seams and coal mines. Now, here's the thing about this. Once we have this up and running properly, we have canaries, and you carry a little lantern. And if your canary stops singing, it means that there's either a flood or in particular gas. They were used more for gas, but they would stop chirping when they heard water. And so you then end up with floods that you have to fix, so you have to go and get engineering supplies and stuff like that. And so it's a really nice little exercise for the kids to look at what it was like to be a Victorian miner. And then when you get back up to the top, you then there's a competition, and we put a timer in and stuff. Game mode 1, that's what the command blocks are for. The only problem is it's not working fully at the moment. Button. There we go. So once we've got our coal, so this is our coal mine, based on a real one. Let's just head out here. Based on a real one in Scotland, 1-to-1 scale. Man. Honestly, one of the best projects I ever had, because I got to clamber around the place. I got to climb up everything and look and take photographs and film it, and it was fantastic. And that's the lift. People often wonder what this is. People are like, what is that? This was the mechanism through which the lifts worked. So you basically had this huge wheel, and then this huge engineering system. And then what would happen was this was the cables. So the cables would carry the lift up and down into the ground, hundreds and hundreds of feet down, and so therefore had to be fully maintained, and it was very important, and so on. But what do we do once we've got it? We've got our coal, so I'm just going to go in to here and go coal. And you don't need like a big fancy coal mine like this. You just need to set the conditions of the coal yourself. So we're going to take coal. And we've been doing renewable energies for the last 5 streams. But what I'm going to do is, actually I don't need code at the moment. What I do need is a furnace. And we'll take another type of furnace. We're also going to take a comparator, and we're going to put a furnace here and a blast furnace here. And then we're going to put a comparator at the back, and then some redstone. And a redstone, whoops, I keep doing that. It's a habit. Redstone lamp. Let's try that. And when I put coal inside here, or inside here, nothing is going to happen until I give it something to burn. Now we've already worked out that, oh, hang on, that did. Oh, it does. It gives us energy even when there's nothing in it. The problem is, that's what it was. So it gives you energy once it's in it. The problem is I need to work out how to make it look as if the coal is being spent. So let's just work out how far this goes. That was it. Look at that, I was accurate. So what if we, that's a bad habit. What if we, iron. What if we take iron ore and we see which one of these runs out of energy first? So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of that, because the only way I can truly start these off at the right pace is to have iron. Oops, that didn't work because it doesn't really matter. So let's just put that in there, put our comparators back. I was trying to think how I could start them together, but it doesn't really matter. So now we have coal burning. Noah, great to see you. Greetings indeed from Israel. I hope everything is fine with you over there, with all of your family and all of your loved ones. So there we go. This one's burned 2 in the time that this one's burned 4. If anybody's got any ideas about how we can model why these would be different, which one would be better? Because right now all we're doing is, I mean, it's not even as if I do that. Oh, it does. Oh, this could be interesting. So with nothing to burn, they both, what we got here? This one's got 6, this one's done 12, so it's just basically twice as fast. I want to see, I don't know, you see, I don't know how this works, but as long as we're burning fuel, so here's the thing, you would just give the students an endless supply of iron, because the iron is just the mechanism with which we are burning the coal. The iron doesn't matter, it doesn't take anything in to this model. All it is it's allowing us to burn coal. And if we can burn coal, we can burn, and I've got an idea. If we do, let's just, oops, I keep doing it. Let's just take a hopper. And have, oops, that's because I'm not on hopper. Have a hopper there. And then get a chest. I'm going to show you a little trick that we can do with chests. I just want to test if the chest will do this first. So I'm going to go and get myself some iron. It does. It goes into the hopper. And then the hopper feeds into here. So it's back up to 64. Here's the thing though, you then, I mean, you're probably thinking at this point, yeah, but what's the difference between putting it in the chest and putting it in the here? But here's the thing, let me just get a chest and go to here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to fill this. So let me just do clear. And then we're just going to go into here and we're going to get iron. Just going to get as much iron as we can. Then I'm going to go into my chest and I'm going to do that's fine, that's just in my inventory, it clears it up for me. Right, then I'm going to take the location of the chest. So the location of the chest is, it's 427 by 276. So it's 427 109 276. And then I'm going to do a command block. So then I need to do a, and now I haven't showed you this yet, but if we do / give at p command, oops, underscore block, you get this neat little thing here. And command blocks, we're going to do a whole stream on command blocks in a while. But for the moment, I just want to put beside that the thing that says clone. Actually, before I do this, I need the location of this chest, which is that is 422 111 27 and it's not, it's 276. No, it's not. It is 275. It's 275 and it's not for, it's 421. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is in my command block I'm going to put clone and then my first location twice. So I need to do 427 109 276 and then 427 109 276 into 429 no 421 sorry 111 275. My lights are going crazy behind me. What's going on there? And I think it's /clone. Let's try that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put a button on there. That should be full again. Yep. Should be full again. Yep. And if I go into this one, if I just destroy that one and pick up all that, all I need to do is press this button. This will always remain full, but all I need to do with this one is press the button and it will automatically put it up here. So we've got a button now that just keeps the fuel coming, because remember the fuel, the iron is not the issue. The iron is not the issue at all. The iron, the issue is how much coal can our children get from the ground to get into there. And here's the thing, if you make it finite, if you know you've done that bit that we did before where we typed trample and we only made 120 pieces of coal, then you know you have a finite resource. And before long, you're going to have to start thinking about hydro or biomass or something. So what we can then do, let me just get rid of that one, is we can then just have a, we would go underneath here. And we would have that going into a, oops, I keep doing that. I'm just going out of the world. I'm just digging all the way down, boom, until I burst out of the world. And what that means is we will eventually, it should just be getting rid of the iron. Once it produces iron, it should just be getting rid of them, I would think. Let's just see if that works. Unless it builds up because there's nowhere for them to go. Is that what that does? It's certainly not going into the hopper. I would have thought it just ejected it, but maybe it doesn't. Let me go into a chest and just put a chest in there and see if that's working. Let's see what happens when it gets to 64. Someone might be able to help me with that, because I'm not sure, and think that through with me, because I'm not sure what happens, why that's not just being dismissed. And see, this just sits at 64. And then if we look up here, we've got one missing and we're down to 49. So let's just go click. And we end up with a full tank again. And so we never, ever, ever, ever have to worry about that. That's because it's inconsequential. And then what we could do for effect is fire, and then we take a campfire. Whoops. And we just put a campfire on top. And then what we do is we surround all of that. I'm just going to do... Oh man, that is really annoying me. Let's get brick. And then we just make this chimney. Remember, Barry, aesthetics. Always aesthetics. And so what we end up with is we end up with a chimney, a coal chimney, hopper directly below. Oh yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Thanks, Chipster. You're my hero. There we go. And I take it doesn't... Oh, there we go. It's filling up, but it's not going to fill up. It's not going to... Oh, right. Okay, so here's the thing. You can put a second chest that has nothing in it. So I'm just going to put that there so we can match it to the right space. And then we can get the location of that. So that's going to be there. So that would be 427109273 to the location of this one, which is, let me get rid of that and just go along here. Actually, did you see how that just fell out when I got rid of that? So we don't want a chest. Forget a chest. Ignore that. What we want is a hopper. Just an empty hopper. So what was it? 423, 427. So we're just going to put a hopper there. And then we're going to run a... Great. Look at that. Another 9 people watching from Israel. Well, hello, Israel. Great to be with you. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take... Whoops. I need to go one up, so it's 108. So then I need to do 421, 108, 275. Okay, so let's see if this works. I've got a thought. I have an idea forming in my head. Let's do another command block. And we can hide these. Command blocks can be hidden. That's the great thing about it. And let's do clone. And that's / clone, right? / clone 427.101.275. 427.101.275. To 421.108.275. Did I get that right? Let's try that. And then we'll do a button. Oops. I got that wrong. I put a piece of stone in. So what am I, let me just double check what this is here. So that should be 427.109. Ah, that's what it is. 427.109. Let's just go back in here. Go back to... God, I was way out. I was way underground. There goes 9. There we go. And then put our hopper back. And what that does is it doesn't do anything. Let's read our command block and see it's just but no blocks cloned. Clone 427.109.275 427 into, why is it not, does it not, if I did a block of stone there, that didn't work either. I'm definitely getting the right one, right? 427.109.273. Oh, man, I need to pay attention to my coordinates today. That's 273. Right, now we do it. There we are. And that puts a hopper in there. And then here's the other thing we can do. That hopper's not going to fill up unless there's a chest below it. This is good. I love all this troubleshooting. And then all we'll do is we'll just move that to, what is that? It's 108. So we'll hide that, and then we'll go 108, 108, and we'll do, and that clones, oh no, 108 to 109. Wow. Man, I'm slow sometimes, huh? Right, if we do that, there we go. Oh no! I got rid of my... Oh, right, okay, that's okay, because that now means that that has to be 107. We have to go down one from there, so let's do that. There we are. And then with that, we get our furnace back. Wow, did that take me too long? And then we'll put our coal in there. Let's fill him back up. Then we'll put our coal in there. And actually I didn't need to do that. All I needed to do was that. And that gives us our iron. Oh yeah, no, our coal does have to. So it depends how our kids can get the coal in there. And then what we can do is, I'm just going to ignore this one because that just does twice as fast. Then what we could do is, from the side, the kids could then automate how they get their coal in. Do you remember that thing that we had built before, which then had the rail track go up and dump the coal? So they could be at the coal mine, and they could dump the coal into, and if you don't want, by the way, if you don't want a hopper, if you need trails of hoppers, you can just have it work the first hopper and then it just passes and goes in. So you'll see if I put a command block in there, oops, he says, you'll see that it, oh, it's because it, oh, actually, where did it go? There it go, it ended in the last one. So if I put a piece of, if I put a chest in there and a piece of iron and a hopper, it passes all the way through to the end one. So you can create networks, pipes, basically. It's a piping system. So you can do that. Right? I know, what a way to look at it, Barry. Barry's just said on Twitch that this will make a great history lesson in the future, when it's like, what we used to do was pull coal out of the ground. No, you never, Grandad. No, we did. And we would burn it. And we can just get rid of that. And then, and that's really what we're looking at. Let me just get some stairs, actually. And I'm going to get some brick stairs. There we are. And that makes our little furnace easier to reach. And if you're not automating it, it just means that the kids are going to have to work extra hard to get their coal in there to burn that off. And then every so often we press this button just to refuel it, so that in here we've got masses of fuel. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to now leave that. So everything we did today was the coal. So we worked out how to make it look like coal was formed over 400 million years by creating fallen trees that were trampled because of dinosaurs or whatever, or, you know, have the kids be the dinosaurs, trample it down, or earthquakes or whatever, and then they would wait, and then that tree, those trees would be turned to coal using this piece of code here, which was, let me show you the world that that was in for those of you who joined slightly late. But don't worry, you can watch everything, including all of our library of live streams, back on youtube.com/c/immersive minds, and you can catch up on them all. But if we head into here, and we head over here, this is where we showed how coal can be formed by using a piece of code. Let me just recap on that before we finish. Come on, code builder, you know you want to. Right, there we go. Let's go player fly fill with. going to get rid of this coal. I'm just going to get rid of it. And I think I will do we'll finish on the 40-second piece, just simply out of respect for Mother Nature and the time that she has spent making this for us to then suck it out of the earth in a few hundred years. So there we go. Oh, wee guy. Sorry. I love putting all this together. This is the stuff my head spins with, by the way. And I love having a little experiment and a platform and an audience to work with and help from, you know, people like Jake and Chipster, and I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. This is what learning is all about. And so what we're going to do with this piece of code is we're going to say every time a piece of tree is broken, we are going to produce 20 fallen pieces of tree inside the ground that I've hollowed out just so we can see it working, in random locations between two separate solid locations. And so in a box, basically, we're going to wait 40 seconds, and that's our 400 million years of heat and damp and pressure and I can't remember the heat, damp, pressure. There's a fourth one. Anyway, and then we're going to do, and then it's going to turn it to coal. Replace with coal when block is spruce wood from an inside our box. So we're going to do this. So let's have a look. If I now go, and just to prove this, I'm going to take this piece of wood and I'm just going to do it along the edge here. So imagine we had a little forest here and I was a dinosaur and I chopped down, let me just get rid of these. I thought I'd already got rid of them. Okay, so if I chop down this piece of wood, I wonder if it works in creative. It does. So in creative mode, I chop it down and then the wood appears. And then that wood is underground. Imagine that this is now covered up and all this land continues all the way along and it's just a forest. And then after 40 seconds of that kind of 400 million years of that pressure, this will all turn to coal and we will... I can't remember. I think time might be the fourth one. It's the time, the pressure, the damp, the I can't remember the terminology for it, but it's the dampness and the heat, which basically creates it. Oil is slightly different. There we go. And then it turns to coal. You see how these blocks have turned to coal? So we'll do another one and we end up with more falling down. And this isn't a perfect model. Of course, it was trees that fell and then kind of sunk and so on. And so it's not a perfect model, but it does show the children, basically the coal that you are burning comes from trees that fell down and took hundreds of millions of years to form into coal. We're now taking that all out the ground and we can't make it again. We can't chop down trees and wait 400 million years. None of us will be there to see that. And it's not something you can even do in the hope of prosperity and kind of, it's like, how do you can't even conceive of that. And so we have to find other ways of energizing our world. There we go. Now it's all coal. And then we chop another one and another one and another one. We just have to wait for that to then sink over. And so we started with this. How is coal formed? And then we moved on to how do we then make the conditions through which children understand how coal is then pulled out of the ground. And for this, we made a mine. This is a replica of a mine, which you can visit today if you're ever in Scotland. You can visit. It's an amazing place. And then you can... and then once you've been underground, and we have underneath all this ground is real coal, like a big, huge coal mine that you can go down and you can mine with real pickaxes. And then once you've brought it up, we modelled how to turn it into a coal generation, which gives us light. That's all this is doing, is giving us electricity. These houses over here, they could be run using the coal that we pull out of the ground. Well, they are in real life, right? So, I'm going to finish there. I didn't actually expect this one to be quite so successful and quite so linear. I woke up this morning and I was still thinking about it, but we do it together, right? And that's what I love. So, thanks so much to everyone for tuning in and listening. And I will be back in 5 hours' time. Where are we at now? In fact, I'll be back. That was a long stream. I'll be back at 6 o'clock GMT, and we are going to do more renewables. We're going to work on our renewables project again. And I might build one of these in. Who knows? Have a great afternoon. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and stay indoors. Thanks, everyone. Bye, bye, bye.